Hi guys, welcome back to Truly Sadia. Today's vlog is going to be about how can we show our confidence through our body language, even in times when we are not feeling confident. For instance, when we're going to an important meeting or when we have an interview, and you want the other person to feel like you have the confidence to deliver XYZ, but say if you're nervous or if you're not feeling the confidence, how do you give the impression of being a confident person? I have worked in the fashion industry now for a good 15 years, and I started my career as I started my career with a modeling agency, and I used to groom models, I used to teach catwalk, and I used to choreograph, and I used to teach models how to put their best foot forward, how to hold their body, what kind of posture they should have, and what kind of eye contact they should make with the audience. So I worked in various countries. I worked in Pakistan, I worked in London, and I worked in New York. I have worked with different kinds of people from different backgrounds. And to be honest, the tools don't change no matter which country you are in. Everybody has the same psychology, and there are very simple things we can do to give the impression of being confident even when we are feeling a little bit nervous. So rule number one is, I think, when you're going to a meeting or when you're going for an interview, the one thing you need to understand is the first thing these people are going to look at is how you are groomed. How are you dressed? So if you're going for a formal interview, you need to dress the part. You can't go casual wearing jeans and a t-shirt. You need to be dressed in a certain way in order to give the first impression. If you're working in retail or if you're working in fashion, you need to make sure that your makeup look is right or your hair is right, irrespective, whichever industry you're working in, from retail to aviation to fashion to banking to finance. How we look and how we dress, it's important that our shirt is ironed, that our hair is clean, our shoes are not scruffy. So that's the first thing you see when someone, before you open your mouth, the first thing you see is how you're dressed. Number two, the second most important thing that someone sees is your posture. How are you holding yourself? Now, I have come across some fabulous girls and boys, and even in the profession of modeling, I've seen girls who look absolutely stunning on the camera. But sometimes, and this doesn't come purely because of lack of confidence. These are just bad habits we acquire when we are growing up, and especially in this day, the digital age, where everybody is on their phone and on a computer and always hunched over. And this is something I do myself too, right? So when I'm stressed, I hunch my shoulders up. I don't even realize that they're up. Now imagine me talking to you like this. And now imagine talking to you like this. So now my shoulders are down. People, when they get stressed, they react in different ways. For instance, when you're feeling a little defensive, you don't even realize, but you fold your arms when you're talking to people. And you don't even realize you're doing it. I do it sometimes when I'm feeling a little defensive. So most important thing is hold yourself tall. Practice it. Put your camera on selfie mode. Put your phone on selfie mode. Breathe. Relax your shoulders, stand tall. And the one thing my father used to say to me all his life, was do not hunch your shoulders. So we all have a habit of hunching our shoulders sometimes. And even when we are standing or talking to people, we are still hunched and we don't realize it. We just don't, I wouldn't have realized that I am hunching till my father did not make it a life mission to make sure that none of his daughters are standing with a hunch. He was always like, shoulders back, posture straight. And that is something, kids are doing all the time. I tell my kids all the time. My son used to hunch a lot, and I used to say, Janshe, please stand tall, stand straight. And it's something, posture is something that, it has to be drilled into your children, and they have to be reminded all the time about posture, because we can so easily fall into bad habits. The one thing I would talk about, which I feel is very important in an interview or in a social gathering, or whenever you're going to meet someone important or you want to leave a good impression, is make eye contact. For some reason, I see especially a lot of children these days who will speak to an adult but look to the right or look to the left or look above, and they will not be looking at you in your eyes. So I think it is very, very important that when you're speaking to someone, and when you look at someone in their eyes, a certain trust develops, a communication develops. It is very important to make eye contact because eyes are the windows of our soul. And I feel if you're communicating with someone, if you're not looking at them in the eye, I feel a vital part of the communication is missing. Make sure is that we have eye contact. It is important to look at someone, address them straight, look them in the eye, and by looking in the eye, I don't mean you stare at them or give them really intense glares, but look them in the eye and have a conversation. You can blink, you can look down, you can look up while having a conversation, but maintain eye contact. Trust me, your communication is going to be very powerful when it is made with eye contact. And one more important point is, don't forget to smile. It's absolutely lovely to see a smile on someone's face, and we don't realize that how little we smile. It's a feel-good thing. When you smile, the other person will automatically break into a smile. Okay, so it's very, very important that when you are meeting someone or socializing or going for an interview, I'm not saying start laughing or cracking jokes, but it's nice to finish the interview with a smile or smile along the way. It just gives the impression of someone who is feeling content and happy, and that's the impression you want to give, even if you're quite nervous and you're not feeling yourself, but you want to give the impression that you're calm and everything's good. So give them a dazzling smile. Well, now we're in COVID times, so pretty much I think the business of handshaking is going to be out of the way for quite some time because people are going to be avoiding personal touch. I would like to mention that when you do shake someone's hand, it should be a firm handshake. It doesn't have to be a crushing handshake, but it doesn't have to be a handshake with no substance whatsoever. So it can't just be like a little touch and go. A handshake is a handshake. So it should be like a proper, firm handshake. And I think that too gives the impression of a person who's confident. So guys, I'm going to go over some of the tips again for body language, how we can show confidence through our body language. Once again, number one, make sure you're well groomed to present yourself to an interview or a meeting or a client interface. Make sure that your posture is right, that your shoulders aren't hunched up, and that your shoulders aren't drooping, and you don't have a hunched back, you're standing tall, you're standing straight. Make sure that you're making eye contact. I think I can't stress enough about eye contact, how important it is to make conversation with people while looking at their eyes. It is very important. Don't forget to smile along the way. Don't be too serious. It's nice to smile. A smile conveys so much confidence. And don't fidget. Don't put your hands in your pocket. And you know what? It's okay to have a little bit of silence when you're in a communication. You don't have to be compelled to fill every second of silence in a conversation. So just relax. Tape yourself, guys, on an iPhone. Check your film. It's going to help you. Body language can convey so much. So if your body language is on point, you've already started on the right track. And of course, then your interview or your meeting is really going to depend on your knowledge for what you're talking about or your talent. That's a different topic altogether. But today we are talking about just our body language and what our body language communicates and how we can make sure that we can show confidence through our body language. I hope it was helpful to you guys, and thank you for watching Truly Sadia. We will see you next week. It'll be a different topic. If you want me to discuss something, always feel free to write. I do read my emails, and Stay safe, you guys.